Marriage and birth rates in the United States keep falling. In 2025, the general fertility rate dropped to 53.1 births per 1,000 women ages 15 to 44, another decline and part of a long downward trend that has reduced the rate by 23% since 2007. The number of births fell to 3.6 million. At the same time, the median age at first marriage reached 30.8 for men and 28.4 for women, near or at record highs. Fewer people are marrying and fewer children are being born. This is not a short-term fluctuation. It is a measurable, multi-decade shift. I'm Maria, and this is Clarity with Maria. Today we're looking at what the latest data shows about declining marriage and birth rates, how large the changes are, what is driving them, and why the numbers matter. Let's start with the clearest figures. According to the CDC's provisional data for 2025, there were 3.6 million births in the United States, a decline from the previous year. The general fertility rate fell to 53.1 births per 1,000 women of childbearing age. That rate has been falling almost continuously since 2007. The drop is especially pronounced among younger women. Birth rates for women in their 20s have declined significantly, and those losses have not been fully offset by increases among women in their 30s and 40s. Teen birth rates also reached another record low. On the marriage side, the median age at first marriage now stands at 30.8 for men and 28.4 for women. Both figures are dramatically higher than they were a generation ago, and overall marriage rates have fallen substantially over the past several decades. These two trends, later and less frequent marriage and lower fertility, are closely connected in the data. One of the most consistent findings in demographic research is that marriage remains a strong predictor of childbearing in the United States. Analyses of the recent fertility decline show that falling marriage rates explain a large share of the drop in births. When fewer people marry, or when they marry much later, the window for having children narrows. Births delayed into the 30s do not fully make up for births that do not occur in the 20s. This does not mean every married couple has children, or that unmarried people never do, but at the population level, the decline in marriage tracks closely with the decline in fertility. The data points more strongly to fewer people forming the households in which most children are still born than to a simple preference for smaller families alone. Several factors show up repeatedly in the research. First is the rising age at marriage and the lower share of people marrying at all. Economic pressures are central here. Higher housing costs, student debt, and the difficulty many young adults face in achieving stable early career earnings all raise the threshold for marriage and for starting a family. Second is the broader delay in independent adulthood. When larger numbers of people in their 20s and 30s are still living with parents or have not yet established stable independent households, family formation is postponed. Third is a shift in timing. Many young adults report wanting children eventually, yet the gap between desired family size and actual fertility has widened. The data suggests that delay often turns into fewer children overall, rather than the same number of children born later. Cultural and social changes also matter. Attitudes toward the timing of marriage and parenthood have shifted. Cohabitation has become more common as a longer-term arrangement. Participation in institutions that once supported earlier family formation has declined for many. At the same time, the economic reality remains central. In places and for groups where housing is more affordable and early career earnings are more stable, marriage and birth rates tend to be higher. The geographic and economic patterns in the data reinforce that material conditions shape these decisions for large numbers of people. No single factor explains the entire decline. The evidence points to an interaction between later marriage, economic constraints, and changing social patterns. Falling marriage and birth rates have consequences that extend beyond individual choices. At the population level, sustained fertility below replacement affects the age structure of society, the future size of the workforce, and the long-term sustainability of programs that depend on a growing or stable population of working-age adults. In the context of the series we've been building, education gaps, economic struggles, loneliness, and delayed independence, this trend sits at the end of the chain. When young adults face higher barriers to stable work, independent housing, and social connection, family formation becomes harder. The data shows those barriers are real and measurable. The latest numbers are clear. Birth rates continued to fall in 2025, reaching another low. The median age at first marriage remains near record highs. The decline in marriage is one of the strongest factors linked to the drop in fertility. This is not a story that can be reduced to personal preference or cultural commentary alone. The data shows a combination of delayed marriage, economic pressure, and broader postponement of the traditional markers of adulthood. The result is fewer marriages and fewer births than in previous generations at the same ages. Understanding the scale and the main drivers is the necessary starting point. The trend is large, measurable, and still unfolding, and it is reshaping the demographic future of the country. Thanks for watching Clarity with Maria. If you value honest, data-driven analysis that doesn't shy away from uncomfortable truths, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. New videos every Wednesday and Saturday. I'll see you in the next one.